Yo guys, welcome back to another episode of Yero News. Your host here today, Osama Asad. In this episode, we're gonna go in depth in some battles, and I'm gonna give you some insight about popular battles in World War II. And of course, as always, we don't like to be biased in Yero News, so we're gonna be covering the different perspectives. I'm excited. Are you excited? All right. Be calling and interviewing Dmitry Petrushka, a Russian war veteran. Здравствуйте. Hello, Mr. Petrushka? Yes, speaking. Who is this? Mr. Petrushka, this is Osama from Euro News. You're live on air for the interview. Da, of course. Please call me Dimitri, comrade. Alright, sweet. I'm ready when you're ready, sir. Go ahead, comrade. Alright, first question is, why were you ordered to defend Stalingrad even though the city of Caucasus held greater for the Russians, I believe? Ha ha, that is very good question. The Red Army was falling back at the time. Hitler was winning the war. Stalin needed a morale booster for the Russians, and he did not want to lose a city named after him to the Nazi scum. He was willing to throw in all his men from first to last to defend Stalingrad. And so, our comrade Marshal Zhukov, great guy, met him actually, he taught us one thing that potentially saved us the war, which was to use the environment into our advantage. The enemy never knew how to deal with the harsh Siberian winters, but we did. And a couple of vodkas and hopaks later, we were pushing them out to their land, their blood. Interesting. And what would you say motivated you to push through Stalingrad, even though it was a suicide mission? Well, my friend, I am Russian. I do not fear bullets. I run at them. As soldiers, we were given one order from Stalin himself, not an inch back. Anyway, I would rather get hit by German bullets like a man, rather than get hit by Soviet bullets if I make a run for it and be proclaimed a coward to the motherland. And what would you say was one of the most successful operations during the Battle of Stalingrad? Well, I'd say the most successful operation out of all of them would probably be Operation Uranus, because what's so funny? I'm not making joke. My bad, Dimitri. Carry on. Alright. Well, Operation Uranus is when we were able to finally trap the Sixth Army and finally make some progress in the war. I'd say it was a turning point for the Nazis. This was actually the first war that Stalin allowed his high commanders to plan because he knew that if he wanted to win this war, he had to have faith in his commanders. We hunted the Nazis like animals. Me and my comrades took out entire Nazi groups with guerrilla tactics and sniper rifles. And how many people died during this battle? Around 480,000 soldiers and 40,000 civilians. Alright, Dmitri, I'd like you to move on now to the Siege of Leningrad. Are you ready? Da, proceed. Now, we all know how brutal the battle was. Could you elaborate and go in depth about that? You want to know, huh? Well, let me tell you something. It was more than just brutal. It was the longest 2 years and a half ever. 1 million men died during that time. 1 million men. When the Germans struck the Red Army during their Operation Barbarossa, the force of their blitzkrieg really hit us hard. Soon enough, we were eating dog meat for food. Rats drinking piss, eating feces. Some of us were even eating each other. Whatever it took to stay alive. Rations were cut to 1/3 of the average adult man. The corpses of my comrades accumulated in the streets day after day. Their corpse was left to rot, and burying them was out of the question during the winter. That is how more and more died from disease. You see, it was normal for me to witness a man collapse as I am walking in the snow, and there was nothing I can do about it, except pray I will not share his fate. Through hardship, however, came Soviet victory. The Germans were simply too weak. Alright, glorious. Thank you, Dmitri. Stay tuned for more when we interview a German captain during World War II after the break.